We had a pretty noteworthy case come out of tax court this year on RSP overcontributions. I want to point this case out because the penalties were not small. This taxpayer was hit with $1,040 plus some penalties in 2004 and $1,099 in penalty tax plus some additional penalties in 2005. The taxpayer used a sort of a compassionate plea argument that she was unemployed, had neglected the fact that her RSPs were in an overcontribution position, and had hoped for administrative relief from Canada Revenue Agency. The tax court upheld these penalties and said if CRA were to offer administrative relief, which they're somewhat expected to do, but only when a taxpayer has made reasonable steps to remove those RSPs from their RSP account or at least minimize the overcontribution position. Being unemployed with sort of hopes of some compassionate ruling from CRA, not going to work in this case. Okay, so let's look at this penalty that they're talking about. It is severe. The penalty tax on overcontributions is 1% per month on that overcontribution amount. And then they can offer some additional penalties over and beyond that if they haven't found you making steps to remove the overcontribution. So this penalty applies on RSP overcontributions that are in excess of $2,000. So everybody is allowed an overcontribution of $2,000. Beyond that, you get the penalty tax. Now, it's important to know what your contribution limit is to figure out if you're in this penalty position. And the best place to find that is from the notice of assessment from the tax return. It's stated on there, and it's called your RSP deduction limit statement. And so you'd find that on your notice of assessment, or if you log into your CRA website and look at your My Tax profile. If you're in an over position with the RSP, it's important for yourself or the client you're advising to know that there's two things you have to do. You have to file a form. It's called a T1 OVP form, and this is filed to CRA that discloses the over position and calculates the penalty tax. You get to calculate it yourself. The second thing you have to do is you have to remove those excess contributions from your RSP account. You can do that by asking the RSP provider to do just a manual withdrawal. If they do that, they're going to charge withholding tax, which is kind of unfortunate. So if you file a T3012A form to your RSP provider disclosing to them that you're in an overcontribution position, then that allows them to refund you the RSP money without withholding tax. So those are the two forms you need to be aware of. Finally, it's worth refreshing for ourselves what the RSP contribution limits are. They grow each year based on the previous year's income. So in 2011, you get 18% of the 2010's earned income to a maximum of $24,450. In 2012, coming up here, we're going to see RSP limits increasing again, and your 18% would max out at $22,970. So I hope that helps refresh us where we're at with RSP contribution limits and gives us that fair warning to watch for these over contribution positions.